50 Cent says that 1090 Jake found paperwork that proves Big Meech allegedly snitched. 50 Cent posted, Tammy Cohen, the truth and nothing but the truth coming soon. 1090 Jake tomorrow, got that paperwork, you know the vibe.
50 Cent is out here on a full-blown mission to air out Big Meech. And now he's swearing up and down that he's holding real deal paperwork, proving Meech is a certified informant. But this mess just hit a whole new level because Lil Boosie couldn't stay quiet and jumped right in, making it crystal clear that he's not feeling how Lil Meech is handling all this.
Big Meech's giant welcome home concert
I told you it was
was
gonna get
canceled.
What'd I tell you?
The bill was
What did
insane.
I say?
The list of artists on it was...
Boosie even said straight up, if somebody disrespected his pops like 50 disrespected Big Meech, he would have exploded on sight. And it seems like Lil Meech caught wind of that advice, because instead of clapping back at 50 with words, he's making moves that speak louder than anything he could say. Instead of typing up a response, Lil Meech is walking the walk, standing next to two of 50's biggest enemies in the game, Rick Ross and Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, those two. And you already know 50 didn't let that slide for even a second. He came right back, calling out Lil Meech, Rick Ross, and Boosie all in one go, putting it on Front Street that he sees exactly what's happening, and he's not about to sit back quiet.
My dad looked out for a lot of people, and 50 ain't do half. Like 50 literally looked out for my dad more than the people that my dad gave millions to.
But here's the real question. Is 50 going too far with all this? Or does he have every reason to feel some type of way?
Yeah, you made my son $5 million. How much you made though? So you gonna stop? You gonna stop? Yeah, you made, yeah. You ain't just, yeah, come on.
And what's the truth behind that so-called paperwork 50 keeps bragging about? Does he really got something, or is he just talking? Let's break it all the way down. So this whole 50 Cent versus Big Meech saga just took a wild left turn, because now 50's out here waving papers in the air, saying it's solid proof that Meech worked with the feds.
Put your back against the wall and just slide down. You already know, car show going down June 7th. Get online right now, get your tickets right now. But for the hustlers, I want y'all to understand you gotta stop making business personal.
This is crazy, because just a few weeks back, Meech himself shut down all the snitch talk, swearing up and down that he's never folded or told on anybody. But now, even with Meech standing on that I never snitched claim, 50's doubling down, saying he's got official court records that prove Meech got caught up in some third-party cooperation deal with a former associate.
It seemed like he got a genuine kind of love for 50 on his response. But, you know, my response, but nigga, f*** you. Nigga, that's my daddy, nigga, f*** you, nigga. Let's go to war.
This ain't just internet talk anymore. 50 is saying he's holding paperwork with names, dates, and signatures to back up every word. On Tuesday, February 25th, one of Big Meech's closest associates got dragged right into the mess, and 50 wasted no time blasting it all over social media. He dropped what he called receipts, posting a screenshot of a message from 1090 Jake, the same YouTuber known for digging into snitch paperwork and putting everybody's business out in the open. According to 50, and 1090, Jake's so-called exclusive message, the paperwork connects Big Meech's longtime associate, Tammy Cowens, directly to a major federal case. And if these documents are even half true, they open up some serious questions about how Meech's prison sentence magically got cut down. In the caption, 50 made it loud and clear. Tammy Cowens, the truth and nothing but the truth coming soon. 1090, Jake got that paperwork tomorrow. You know the vibe. Now, here's where things get real messy. Tammy wasn't just some random person in Meech's circle. She was one of his closest allies and even helped produce BMF, the hit show 50 made about Meech's life. On top of that, Meech trusted Tammy to handle serious business while he was locked up. That's not just friendship, that's deep loyalty, or so everyone thought. But now the word on the street is scandalous. People are saying Tammy might have been playing both sides the whole time, allegedly feeding the feds with inside info Meech gave her, setting up major players behind the scenes. According to former BMF member Blue Da Vinci, Meech personally put Tammy in charge of BMF Entertainment after his 2008 arrest, giving her power over the whole brand. But by 2009, everything flipped upside down, because Tammy allegedly switched teams and started working directly with the FBI. And here's the real kicker. If Tammy was already working with the feds before Meech's sentence got shortened, it leaves the whole internet asking the same question. Did Meech know about this? And even crazier, was Meech quietly cooperating through Tammy without ever signing paperwork himself? Of course, some folks online came flying in to say 50's so-called receipts are old news, and they don't actually prove Meech snitched. But with 50 pressing the gas and promising even more documents, nobody's walking away from this without answers. A lot of people were quick to point out that nowhere in those so-called receipts does it actually name Big Meech as an informant. Not once. And just because Tammy might have cooperated and somehow helped Meech get a time cut, that still doesn't automatically mean Meech was out here cutting deals with the feds himself. Here's how the game really works. And this is where things get sticky. In some cases, a federal informant can actually help someone else's sentence get reduced by dropping information that benefits them. But whether the person getting that reduced time actually knows about the deal or signed off on it, that depends on how the whole thing went down. The first way this happens is through a sworn affidavit or a formal cooperation agreement. That's when an informant testifies or gives statements that directly help someone's case. And if the judge or prosecution thinks it's worth something, they might offer to cut some time off that person's sentence. In this situation, the person getting the deal would have to know about it. And usually, they have to sign paperwork agreeing to the whole thing. But then, there's the shady side, something called third-party cooperation. And this is where things get real messy. With third-party deals, an associate, like Tammy, can drop information that accidentally or intentionally helps someone else's case. The feds can still turn around and offer that person a deal, even if that person never sat down with them or signed anything at all. That's why this whole situation is such a confusing gray area. Technically, if Meech didn't sit with the feds himself and didn't sign any paperwork, people could argue he didn't snitch. But if Tammy's cooperation led to Meech getting a time cut, it leaves a huge question hanging in the air. Did Meech know this was happening and secretly give the green light? Or was Tammy moving in silence, playing both sides behind Meech's back the whole time? Now 50 Cent is straight up claiming that Big Meech knew exactly what was going on, and even passed some sensitive info to Tammy, who ran it straight to the feds. But if you actually look at the paperwork, that part ain't as clear as 50 wants everybody to believe. And if Tammy really did all that behind Meech's back, feeding the feds without him knowing, calling Meech a snitch might be a serious reach. But facts or no facts, 50's not easing up on Meech one bit. Instead, he's dragging everybody into this mess, even calling out folks who don't see it his way. One of the names he put on blast? Boosie. And that's because Boosie spoke up after Lil Meech jumped into the conversation himself. See, after 50 got bold online and called Big Meech a rat, and even threw the whole Flannery family into the fire, Lil Meech hit 50 directly with a text, and that message ended up all over the internet. Lil Meech texted 50 saying, "They just told me you unfollowed me on Instagram, and now you managing Skilla Baby with Rocket, when I'm the one who brought him to you in the first place. You didn't even know who he was back then. Now you acting mad at me like I'm the enemy? I can't believe this, man. I always showed you nothing but love and loyalty. I'm human. I go through my own stuff, but I never flipped on you." That's not all. Lil Meech also tried to clear the air about his dad linking up with Rick Ross, which is what started this whole circus to begin with. According to Lil Meech, it was strictly about money, nothing personal. In his words, F. Ross. but he gave my dad some bread so he could pay his bills until our next season kicks off. Lil Meech made it clear the internet's doing too much, saying, "You know me in real life, this ain't even like that." But 50 wasn't trying to hear any of it. He clapped back cold as ever, telling Lil Meech to kiss his role on the BMF show goodbye. No warnings, no second chances, just like that. 50 didn't hold back at all, firing off, "What next season? Lil Ninja," like Lil Meech's acting career just got cut off at the knees. And to twist the knife even deeper, 50 hopped right back online, clowning Lil Meech for losing his role and saying his next gig would be on Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. 50 even wrote, "I'll hit up Mona Scott for him later today," like he was doing him a favor and playing career coach at the same time. But 50 wasn't done, not even close. After roasting Lil Meech, he turned his sights straight at Rick Ross and Big Meech's parenting skills. He dug up some old footage of Lil Meech hanging out with Ross's daughter, Toy Roberts, back when they were a thing, and used it to take shots at Meech as a father. 50 posted the clip with a caption asking why Rick Ross never stepped up to help out Lil Meech's family while Big Meech was locked up all those years. Then 50 threw even more dirt on Meech's name, writing, "Why old boy didn't look out for Meme and send him to acting school? Big Screech, all your people was out here doing nothing for him. You came home thinking you the Black Pablo Escobar and effed him up." But wait, there's more. 50 made sure to remind everybody that he's the real reason Big Meech's family even ate while Meech was inside. According to 50, he helped the Flannery family make over $5 million in legit money, and then he hit Meech with one more low blow, writing, "It ain't my fault all that money's gone. Give the baby back his jewelry." And speaking of Boosie, 50 had smoke for him too. When Boosie got asked about 50 exposing Lil Meech's messages, Boosie said he wasn't feeling how soft Lil Meech handled the situation. Boosie said straight up, if it was his pops getting dragged like that, he wouldn't have stayed calm or respectful at all. He would have popped off. But 50 was ready for that too. He clapped back instantly, saying he did more for Lil Meech than Big Meech ever did. 50 even posted a clip of Boosie's interview and wrote, "I did more for Meech than anybody in his life." Boosie, that's why he responded like that. If he got locked up, I'm the first one he calls. I bailed him out every time. And at this point, it looks like Lil Meech is done playing nice. Because after all that, he popped up shoulder to shoulder with two of 50's biggest enemies, Rick Ross and Floyd Mayweather. That right there, that's a message all by itself. By now, everybody knows the beef between 50 Cent and Rick Ross runs deep. We're talking over a decade of shots, shade, and straight-up disrespect between these two. And this whole mess with Big Meech? It popped off the second Meech stepped out of prison and linked up with Ross like they've been best friends forever. And let's not forget about Floyd Mayweather. Once upon a time, him and 50 were tight, but that friendship crashed and burned years ago, all over money problems and personal jabs they threw at each other. So the fact Lil Meech is now out here laughing and chilling with both of them, that's not just a regular link up, that's a straight up message. And you already know 50 wasn't about to let that slide quietly. On Friday, February 21st, Lil Meech posted a photo showing him posted up with Floyd and Ross, all smiles, while they kicked it at Lucky Strike Bowling Alley in Miami the night before. But that wasn't the only flick. Lil Meech doubled down, posting another shot of just him and Floyd, showing off gear from Meech's Red Letter One clothing line, the same brand that once collapsed but is now making a comeback. Lil Meech even gifted Floyd some exclusive pieces right on the spot. And to make sure everybody really caught the message, Lil Meech couldn't resist sliding some shade into the caption, writing "Real Power." As if that wasn't enough, Big Meech himself popped in over the phone while the whole crew was hanging out. Ross and Floyd both hopped on the call, making sure to show Meech love right there on speakerphone, like they were making sure 50 heard every word. "I'm gonna send some wings over there." That line right there says it all. 50 Cent is done with the whole Flannery family. No apologies, no fixing it, no coming back from this. After everything 50 did for Big Meech and Lil Meech, he feels like they turned their backs on him in the worst way. Let's not forget, 50 didn't just throw Meech's name into a few songs, he built the whole BMF empire on TV, putting their story in front of millions. On top of that, he gave Lil Meech a golden ticket into the entertainment game, straight to the front of the line. And after all that, Lil Meech flips the script and starts running with Rick Ross and Floyd Mayweather, two of 50's biggest enemies. That's a bold move, and 50's making sure everyone knows exactly how he feels about it. Now, the streets and social media are split right down the middle on this one. Some people say 50's taking things way too far, airing out every personal detail like it's a reality show, and pushing this snitch narrative without any real proof. They feel like 50's making this more about ego than facts. But on the other side, 50's loyal fans are riding with him heavy. They say he's got every right to feel betrayed after holding down Meech's family while Meech sat in prison. Yeah, 50 made money off BMF, no doubt, but he also opened doors for Lil Meech that most people could only dream of. That's not something you just throw away. So now it's your turn to weigh in. What's your verdict? Is 50 Cent going overboard, or is he standing on business and handling disloyalty the only way 50 knows how? And when it comes to that paperwork, does it really prove Big Meech snitched? Or is this just another chapter of street gossip gone wild? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, share this with your people, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss what's next. Because this story, it's far from over. See you in the next one.